My name is Cathal Watters. I'm a cameraman. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. I have 3 other brothers, and I grew up in Meath, which is about half an hour away from Dublin, Ireland. I remember one day, I think it was 8 or 9, and I was walking down O'Connell Street, and it was St. Patrick's Day, and it was a big parade, and I saw a guy open a massive big cherry picker with a camera, and I thought, that's where I want to be. I want to be that guy up there. I've been in this business over 20 years, and I started out as a news cameraman. So it was me going out with a camera and a microphone and recording news for local TV stations. That was brilliant, really enjoyed that. And from there I went on to doing documentaries, and I was fortunate enough to travel the world with those, and that was just superb, just brilliant. My heart was always in drama, and I always wanted to do drama, but I wanted to be shooting. So I would do anything for free, anytime. If it was anything creative, I was all up for it. So it was like music videos, short films, all of that. And then I got my first feature film. And I think once one person put their trust in you to shoot a feature film, then everybody, it's so much easier to get your second. Getting the foot off the ground with the first was the most difficult, most challenging. But after that, kind of, I'm mainly doing drama now. So I shoot feature films and I shoot TV drama. I don't like to think of myself as having a style. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into, having that style or this style. I really like to think that I'll have the style is whatever is needed to tell that story. Certainly there's different styles that I love. I love handheld. I love working with an actor and reacting to an actor. I call it a horrible term, organic and dynamic, where, I have the camera, the actors in front of me, and I'm reacting to them. And I think that stems back from, working in documentary, that you're always trying to tell a story with the actor and trying to be reactive to them. And I think the audience pick up on that, and I think they can feel that they're within the moment much more so than if it was a very structured style. I want to be able to say that I've served the story, that I've helped tell the story through what I do, which is framing, lighting, movement. Equipment enabled me to get the jobs I wanted at the start and gave me a springboard then into doing longer form. Right now, I wouldn't say I have to shoot on this or I want to shoot on that. I think it's irrelevant what you shoot on if the story is strong enough, and so many people would say that, but it's absolutely true. I'm constantly evolving and constantly changing. So my technique has always evolved, has always changed. And I think that's why you're always kept fresh in this business. And I think you're always, everything is changing, everything is evolving all of the time. And I think now I'm at a stage, I think sometimes it's not, will I be able to do this? It's how I'll be able to do it. I'm more confident in myself. I'm more confident in what I'm doing. And that's very empowering. The way any project starts is I'm usually given a script. It might be an early draft, but at least it's a script, it's a story, it's a talking point. It's very important that when I read a script that I read it in one go, and that I'm in a space where I'm not worried about anything else, that I'm not thinking about anything else, and that I have time to digest it in one go, because you'll only read a script for the first time once. So I think that's absolutely key, to get that in a place where you can then read it. So I'll read it for story first. I'm not even thinking of visuals. Obviously they're springing to mind, but I'm trying to wait for that. And then when I read the script the second time, I'll start thinking of visuals. Then after that, with the director, I usually get a mood board or a storyboard or samples of films that they think. Sometimes it's like, I want to shoot it like this. I want it to be this type of movie. Or sometimes it might be simple as, I don't know what I like about this film, but it has something that I'd like to have in my film. So very seldom directors go out and say, I want it to look like this. I think they want their film to evolve, and I think they have to be very open to that. Because it always does. It depends massively on locations, on design. I've many moments that I absolutely love that I've worked on. I feel privileged to have been a part of. One was a film I shot in Cuba called Viva, and we were doing a scene where father and son, they have a fight and then they sit down to eat, and that was the end on the page. And basically at that moment, the father and son are having a fight. And then at the end of the fight, they sit down to a meal after a confrontation. And effectively that was it. They sit down and they start eating, and we were supposed to cut. But Paddy Brannock, the director, he didn't call cut, and I was holding on this, and the actors kept acting, obviously, and they were sitting down. But for me, that moment was pure, and I don't know what cinema is, but it was pure cinema, because at that stage I think everybody's work had come together. And it was absolutely amazing, because I think at that stage you had all of the different departments coming together. And I remember when we did finally cut, we all knew what we had. We'd something absolutely special. It wasn't necessarily part of the script, but of course it was part of the story. And that was a beautiful, beautiful moment. One of my favourite jobs that I've ever done has to be the fourth season of Peaky Blinders. First of all, it's a period piece, and I absolutely love shooting period. And then I think the calibre of actors and the calibre of writing from Stephen Knight is just absolutely amazing. I was also working with David Cafferty, director, who I have a great relationship with.
We are an organisation of a different dimension.
I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you.
They're coming for us all.
No, I don't want to fall in love.
We don't get to decide who lives, no dies.
No, don't want to fall in love. We're out of our league.
I think working with actors is very, very exciting, because everyone is different, and I think everyone's approach to how they act is very, very different. So I'm the one that's closest to them when they're acting. Often, they look to me to, was that a good take, or that sort of thing. So I have a very good relationship with them. Sometimes I like to be a little bit standoffish, in the sense that I want to give them space even though I'm right beside them. And I think that's very, very important. For me, obviously, lighting is absolutely key to telling any story. It's the one thing that you can completely create. Locations are there, actors are there, but your lighting can create mood, it can create depth, and it can really bring on the story. Phil Brooks was my gaffer on Peaky Blinders, and he's an exceptional gaffer and has an incredible experience. He lit Downton Abbey and a lot of other amazing shows. He was very concise. We had everything on dimmers. He controlled a lot from a massive dimming desk, and also he controlled a lot from his iPad, which was just absolutely brilliant. We used a lot of sky panels that he actually had control of over his phone. So this is where technology is moving on all of the time, and it's just making what you're doing just so much easier. So, you want a little bit of green out of that, you want, this red or whatever it is, that we were able to do that very quickly, very efficiently. That time spent with the gaffer pre-shoot, I think, is the most important time for me, because it gives us a chance to pre-light and have an idea of what the lighting might be, and make sure it's ready and in place when we come to shoot. So if I was forced into shooting a feature film on one camera and one lens, I think I would I'd either take an Arri Alexa Mini or a Red Dragon. I think they're both beautiful cameras. They're great images, really, really high quality. But then the lens I would choose, I would probably choose a Zeiss Super Speed. So a Zeiss Super Speed is a 30-year-old glass, and I'd probably choose either 25 or 35. I used to hate the 35, but I've grown to love it. I think 25 or 35, you can get tight shots by moving the camera closer, and then it's wide enough to get wider shots. I think advice I'd give people starting out is to just go out and try and film as much as you can. Try and get experience. What shot looks better with the light. If it's natural light, where should people stand? Where should people walk from? See what to them looks best. Then if they can afford a light, get an LED light. It's very versatile, and that's something that you can start creating yourself. And that's, I think, one light and a camera you can do so much with, and you can learn so much from. Who knows when a lucky break is going to happen and you're going to meet someone who's going to go on to bigger and better things. And that's what it is. It's just to keep going.